Hi, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discussing about banned chemical residues in aquaculture shrimps. Banned chemical residues we are testing at a raw material receiving stage in aquaculture shrimps for all the chemicals like chloramphenicol, nitrofuran metabolites, tetracyclines, sulfonamides, fluoroquinolines, and trimethophen dyes like crystal violet, leucocrystal violet, malachite green, and leucomalachite green, etc. Every lot as per BAP Seafood Processing Standard 5.1 version. But if you conduct risk assessment on the probability criteria or severity criteria, likelihood of occurrence of those chemicals, we can revise the frequency of testing for different chemical parameters. I am sure by the end of this video, you could able to conduct the risk assessment on these banned chemical residues in aquaculture shrimps. You can establish the frequency of testing at raw material receiving stage every lot of receipt, or once in a week one lot will be selected, or once in a 2 months, depends upon the different parameters. Now let us start the video. This is the risk assessment matrix. We have to define the probability criteria and severity criteria. What is the probability criteria? Score 3. Score 3 means banned chemical residues in aquacultured shrimps may detect more frequent, likely happen at regular, is the score 3. And what is the score 2? Banned chemical residues can detect in aquaculture shrimps can happen but not frequent, is score 2. Then score 1, banned chemical residues unlikely to detect in aquacultured shrimps, is score 1. Now the severity criteria, let us see what is the score 3. So banned chemical residues will likely may impact immediate health impact or grave health or recall or regulatory issues. So this point is very useful. See, the score 3 means recall or regulatory issues may occur if the shrimps contains banned chemical residues detected by the importing countries. So recall or regulatory issues may occur. That is the score 3. And the score 2 is repeated failures or the banned chemical residues in aquaculture shrimps unlikely to pose immediate health impact or grave health impact, but unrepeated failure may lead to health impact on long term. So that is the score 2. Then what is the severity? Score 1. Banned chemical residues in aquacultured shrimps unlikely to pose an immediate or grave health impact. That is the score 1. This is the severity score 321 and probability score 321. Now we will define the outcome criteria. See, let us see what is the defined outcome criteria. If the score is high, every lot we have to test at raw material receiving stage for the aquacultured shrimps. If the score is medium, then once in a week randomly we have to select one lot or pond, test for all the parameters. If the score is low, once in a 2 months you test all the parameters at raw material receiving stage in aquaculture shrimps. So this is the decision outcome criteria. Then special points of attention. What are those? Let us see. The scope, the special points of attention. The first one, it should cover the scope of the BAP Seafood Processing Standards 5.1 version. All the parameters should cover. And the point number 2, at least once in 2 months, all the parameters, all the banned chemical residues in aquaculture shrimps as per the BAP SPS standard should cover at least once in 2 months. And the point number 3, special points of attention. If high adverse effect, if the banned chemicals will pose high adverse effect, it should be tested every lot. These are the special points of attention. Now we'll see. I have categorized based on the risk probabilities and severities these aquaculture drugs in three categories. The first one is high adverse effect chemicals, and the second one is medium adverse effect chemicals, third one is low adverse effect chemicals. The high adverse effect chemicals, chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites will comes under high adverse effect chemicals category, and medium adverse effect chemicals, tetracycline, sulfonamides, quinolines and fluoroquinolines will comes under medium adverse effect chemicals, and low adverse effect chemicals, dyes like crystal violet, leucocrystal violet, malachite green, leucomalachite green will comes under low adverse effect chemicals. Here high adverse effect chemicals, chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites. Description of the point. Yes, during farming and the farmers may use these kind of high adverse effect chemicals like chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites. These are having broad spectrum antimicrobial properties and cheaply available. So the farmer may administer, probably may administer the during farming to increase the survivability or to minimize the mortality of shrimps during farming. This is the description of the point and risk description of this chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites. Risk description means these chemicals are highly carcinogenic. These two antibiotics, nitrofuran metabolites and cap, highly carcinogenic, which can cause leukemia, blood cancer. Remarks are references. So you have to collect the data from NRCP, from the EMPEDA or RASFF data or FDA chemical recall or banned chemical recall data. You keep it in a file for concrete evidence to conduct the risk assessment. Besides collecting the data, in your facility also you are testing lot wise for all the banned parameters as per the BAP seafood processing standards. Based on that, you can establish or revise the frequency based on your past internal data, based on the NRCP data or based on the RASF or FDA recall data. You can revise the risk assessment schedule for testing of these banned chemicals every lot per day or one lot in a week or once in 2 months. It is carcinogenic, then the probability criteria is likely to detect in aquaculture shrimps more or frequent. Yes, because of NRCP also stating the same thing, and RASF also most of the recalls from these chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites, whereas FDA recalls also mostly nitrofuran metabolites. So probability criteria is 3, and severity criteria, antibiotics won't pose immediate health impact, but recall a regulatory issue may occur. This is also severity score also 3, probability score also 3. 3 multiplied by 3 is equal to 9. It comes under high category. If it is high, then we have to test every lot upon receipt. Every resource, every pond we have to test. That means chloramphenicol and nitrofuran metabolites from every source at RM receiving stage, we must test these parameters because the score is 9. Probability criteria is 3 and severity criteria also 3. 3 multiplied by 3 is 9, high category. Then let us see the quinoline, sulfonamide, tetracycline groups and fluorphenicol. So these are the chemicals the farmer very rarely may use, unlikely or very rarely may use or remote. And exposure also, the risk description, exposure for these chemicals for longer period of exposure will pose the health impact, not immediate, for longer period only. The same thing, the reference also we have to collect NRCP data, RASF data and FDA recall data also. So you have to keep it evidence and your past internal analysis report also to determine the frequency or probability criteria. It will help us. Okay, then the score is probability is can happen. The chemical residues like tetracycline or sulfonamides or quinolines group can detect in the shrimp residue, shrimp meat, but not frequent. But not frequent or rare. The score is 2. Then severity, yes, repeated failure for a longer period may pose health impact. So that is the score 2. And this is medium. So 2 into 2 is 4. Then the score is medium. See here, 1 to 3 is low, and 4 to 6 is medium, and 7 to 9 is high. So like this. Then what we have to do is these parameters, quinoline, sulfonamide tetracyclines, fluoroquinolines and fluorphenicol, should be tested once in a week, randomly selecting one pond source or one lot. So that is more enough. And the third category, chemicals, banned chemicals, low adverse effect chemicals means dyes, trimethylphenone dyes, crystal violet, leucocrystal violet, malachite green, leucomalachite green. What we have to do? The farmer may not use the dyes. Mostly the aquaculture farms are nearby fish ponds, or the canal water is contaminated, or the canal water received the discharges from the fish ponds may lead to the contamination of dyes. Mostly the fish ponds, the farmers may use the dyes for controlling the parasites or some fungi. The dyes may use. So repeatedly consume will affect the low adverse health impact. Yes. Then the reference also, the same data we can collect, and our past history also we have to keep in file. We have to conduct the trend analysis also for these parameters are once in a 6 months. And the score is probability criteria, very unlikely or rare. The dyes in the shrimp meat residues, very unlikely or rare is the score 1. And severity also unlikely to happen, health impact is the score 1. So like this. So the severity may be 1 or 2, and 1 multiplied by 2 or is equal to 2, and the low. The risk rating is low. Then we have to test once in a 2 months these parameters at raw material receiving stage. We have to test once in 2 months. So this is about the risk assessment on banned chemical residues in aquaculture streams. To comply BAP seafood processing standard 5.1 version, if you conduct risk assessment like this, and if you collect the data of your in-house facility for the past 6 months, that will help us. And NRCP data, RISFF data, FDA recall data also you can keep on the file. And you need not test all these parameters every lot. You can test cap and nitrofuran metabolites and test the parameters weekly, and this is 2 months. Once in 2 months you should cover all the parameters, send the samples to the external lab. That's all about the video, friends. I have given the previous video links how to conduct the risk assessment. If anyone wants the template of this risk assessment matrix prepared in Excel copy, I will share to you. Just comment on the link below and I will share to you. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you and bye bye.